The Nzulezo still village was built by immigrants from Mali about 400 years ago, and their way of lifestyle has been similar ever since. The Nzulezo community has about 450 people, and they're self-sustained, fishing their own fish and growing their own rice, plantain and cassava. They also have chickens and goats roaming around under the village and the jungle surrounding them, from which they get their meat additional to the fish.
You know, if you go to much, that time is dry.
Oh, okay. These days, Nzulezo has become a tourist attraction for travelers, and to visit the village you have to pay a fee to the Ghana Wildlife Society, who continues preserving the area with this money. The schools in the village were surprisingly well equipped. All the children had pens and paper, and I bumped into kids playing with new toys. That is a very rare sight here. A big difference that was also noticeable was that no one in the village was suffering of hunger or sickness, and everyone seemed to be pretty well off. To get to the village, we first had to walk about half an hour out of town through fields and swamps until we got to a small pond that had a river heading into the jungle. We jumped onto a small, very unstable canoe and headed along the small river. It was a lovely peaceful paddle, listening to the sounds of monkeys, birds, frogs, and watching the fireflies buzzing along the surface water that was as smooth as glass. The calm surface of the river gave a perfect mirror image of the riverbank, and the lushness of the jungle was amazing. After paddling about 15 minutes through the river, we reached a large lake surrounded by thick vegetation fringed with raffia palm. Before we arrived to the village, the fishermen paddled past us silently in their local small canoes carved out of one log. In the distance you can see the village made out of bamboo leaning out of the jungle.
There's some fishing nets there. Now, but he's gonna go over. Doesn't matter.
The mirror surface of the lake gave a double image of the village, making it look like it's floating in the air. We had heard from other visitors that the people in the village are not very social, and some people even said they were vicious. When we got there, I also noticed similar things. The first hour we were there, no one talked to us, and most of the villagers just stared at us with a bored, fed-up look. Only the children came up to us and said a couple of words, but without a smile on their face. The longer we stayed there though, the more people started opening up, and the next day most villagers knew our name and greeted us whenever we walked along the raffia wood walkway. I woke up in the morning around 5:30 to see the sunrise. At the same time, the men of the village were heading out to fish, and there were canoes scattered all over the lake. The lake had all kinds of fish and even crocodile in it, so I was very scared in the beginning to swim there. After following the locals enjoying the fresh water in the heat, I had to jump in myself.
Well, there's no crocodile over here.
The next morning I woke up feeling like a local villager. I jumped straight into the water off my pier and bathed properly with shampoo and soap. This moment was one of the best moments of my whole journey. I'll never forget the timeless and worryless feeling while bathing in cool fresh water, watching the sunrise over the lake.
Every blessed day, that is music playing.
Passing women from the village smiled at me as they paddled towards the next town to sell some fish at the local market.
Healing music's playing on, yeah. So let's move to Florence, have some fun and healing.
We knew it was the last day we could stay in the village because I was running out of money and there's no ATMs for another 200 kilometers. It was sad to leave, and the locals were also sad to hear that we were leaving.
Don't you wanna be healed? Be healed from the music.
Nzulezo was one of the highlights of my trip until now. Seeing her really living in a small community made us feel like we were a part of something there. It was amazing just to sit around with the mothers and children and just watch them and listen quietly as they did their daily chores. Even though I didn't understand anything they said, we could still communicate with each other in some way, and smiles were exchanged every time we couldn't. Hey. Video now, make a stupid face. Make a stupid face, you know.
I need that sweet girl. What? I need that baby girl. What? Nzulezo, Aquaba, Buddha Cyrus, a day here. Whoa, whoa. Me a falling, me a falling, me a falling. Me sit down, me sit down, me sit down. I'm scared, you know. I'm very scared.